Yeah.
Ooh, bacon.
Greetings, tasty morsels. It's Reverse BLT here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I am going to get into the official trailer for The Marvels, which I didn't even realize it come out. I was just randomly scrolling through YouTube, looking at other reactors, because obviously, you know, I enjoy watching reactions. It's one of the reasons why I started making my own, because I do like the format quite a lot. And I noticed Matthew V. Haynes, which if you guys aren't checking him out, you should. He's really fun. Had a thing up yesterday for reacting to The Marvels, which, like I said, I wasn't even aware they had dropped the trailer. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what they do with this, especially considering that they're bringing together, you know, these three women who all carry this sort of like connection to Captain Marvel, obviously one of them being Captain Marvel. It's just fun for me because, like, when I was young, my first Captain Marvel, though I'm trying to remember whether she was called Captain Marvel or Ms. Marvel back then, but she's gone by several names, but it was Monica Rambeau, you know, who I think at the time actually that I started getting into her, she had just taken on the name of Captain or Ms. Marvel. I'm not sure which, but I think she had before that been going by Photon. She had like interesting like silver and black outfit and a huge awesome fro. It was really cool. But that was like the Captain Marvel that I actually like had the most familiarity with. I knew of Carol Danvers, you know, the Ms. Marvel Carol Danvers, but she was in a coma at that point because, you know, spoiler warning for those of you who aren't too familiar with the comics, but in X-Men, Rogue got her flight and super strength and durability and all that stuff from basically holding on to Ms. Marvel so long that she put her into like a coma that lasted quite a while, and basically just stole most of her powers from her, which is something that I'm actually curious to see whether they will bring into the MCU, because one of the main criticisms of Captain Marvel in terms of her role in stories is that she can't be utilized very much because she's so ridiculously powerful. So I've been thinking for a while that Marvel's probably going to want to find a way to sort of nerf her a little bit, you know? And they're also bringing the mutants into the MCU soon. I mean, they've already started with, you know, Ms. Marvel. So having a rogue pop up would be very interesting, especially if they just have things go down pretty much the exact same way that they went down in the comics. I'm here for that. But yeah, I really like Monica as a character. I really like Kamala as a character. I really like Carol as a character. I think she's interesting how she's sort of rough around the edges and has this bravado that may or may not be 100% genuine and stuff like that. You know, which is kind of an interesting character type to work through. There's a lot of potential for growth with all three of these characters. Well, maybe a little less for Ms. Marvel because she did grow a lot for her in her first season, especially considering, you know, that she's very young. So, you know, you're still in the process of basically baking. So maybe not as much room for a lot of character development with her as with the other two, especially considering how much baggage Monica's probably carrying with her, because of, you know, Carol not being around after the blip and all that stuff, and, you know, her mother dying, and yeah, so I'm expecting that's the biggest thing I'm actually looking forward to, that right there, because you guys who are familiar with my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of sort of like, you know, family drama, and like, you know, people like coming to terms with all their unresolved issues as a family, and so that dynamic between Carol and Monica is probably the thing I'm most looking forward to in terms of the serious side of this story. And the dynamic between Carol and Kamala is what I'm most looking forward to for sort of maybe the lighthearted, fun side of the story. Yeah. So anyway, that rambling bit aside, let's just go ahead and get into this trailer and see what Marvel has in store for us.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Prodigal child of the
Nick
Milky Way.
Fury,
My favorite one-eyed man of intrigue.
How goes it out there?
you know, cold, no air, space.
But she doesn't need air anymore, right? Oh, that was cool. They give the logos.
The Annihilator.
Who be that?
For me. And now I'm returning the favor.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. This is scratching something in my brain, but I can't remember what. Interesting.
What is happening to me?
So their powers are all linked somehow.
Powers.
Hey, she's got her black and white costume. Photon.
You can absorb light.
Or is she gonna be spectral?
I can see it. And Kamala,
Who's Kamala?
hi, she can turn light into physical matter, which I have never heard of.
I could totally show you.
No.
Yeah, this is potentially very bad for you, Kabbalah. Oh, okay.
She's targeting every planet we call home.
Is she carrying one of the hammers of the accusers?
You are not the only thing standing between this and the universe.
Oh, okay. A whole bunch of accusers.
Team.
Oh my goodness, they give Photon a binary mode?
Who's a good kid? Good.
Yeah.
Can you?
I got it.
That was a great reaction. Okay, I'm definitely gonna watch it again. I gotta remember that I really shouldn't talk through the first watch through of the trailer. Sorry about that, guys, but like there was a lot of fun stuff there. Yeah, I remember Monica's version of Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, whatever, Spectrum, Photon. She's gone by so many names, being pretty freaking powerful. So it's cool seeing it looks like she's basically unlocked a binary mode in this. And this villain, whoever she is, and like I said, it's scratching something in the back of my head, and I can't place it, but like there's something there that's making me recognize her on some level, but I can't figure it out. But they clearly came up with a villain, or found a villain in her rogues gallery who can go toe-to-toe with her. Because remember what I was saying, the biggest issue with Captain Marvel as a character in terms of these in terms of making stakes for the stories and everything, is that she's just too freaking powerful. You know, so you need to either have someone for her to go up against who is at least as powerful as her, and since this is a team up movie, honestly, it should be someone more powerful than her if possible, so that it justifies having multiple heroes facing one threat. Or you have to figure out a way to nerf the her power so that it isn't as foregone a conclusion that she's going to win. You know, obviously we're going to go into this expecting the characters to win, though Marvel has demonstrated that they're not above I don't know why I said above, but they're not unwilling to make the characters lose sometimes. So, which always makes it interesting. I like it when I can't be certain of the fate of the characters going into a movie. But anyway, that all said, let's run this thing back. And I hope those guys never copyright that or something, or trademark it, so that I end up getting sued for saying it. But I mean, it's such a obvious phrase, and a really good one. It just rolls right off the tongue. But anyway, let's watch this again. This time, I think I'm gonna try to not speak. I'm just gonna really focus on all the stuff that's happening.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Nick Fury.
My favorite one-eyed man of intrigue.
How goes it out there?
You know, cold, no air, space.
Captain Marvel, the Annihilator. You took everything from me. And now I'm returning the favor.
What is happening to me? She's entangled our light-based powers. So we switch places whenever we use them.
Strong theory.
You can absorb light. I can see it. And Kamala,
Who's Kamala?
hi, she can turn light into physical matter, which I have never heard of.
I could totally show you.
No!
Which Beastie Boys song is this?
Every planet we call home. I would never choose to bring anybody into this.
You are not the only thing standing between this and the universe. Oh my god, we're a team. Higher. Further. Faster.
Who's a good kid?
I can't. Can you?
I got it.
Oh, this really does look fun. Oh, okay. So, I sort of tried it with the Wheel of Time season 2 trailer reaction, though I kind of half-assed it with that one. But I'm gonna try this with this one too, where I'm gonna go through it bit by bit and just look for cool details. With the Wheel of Time reaction, it was mainly just like a couple things that I noticed that I was super like, oh my god, I have to go back and see if I was right about that. But I'm gonna actually try to, be a little more in depth with it this time. So let's go back and let's actually take a look at. And I'm gonna use a feature that I don't know. I think maybe has been lost to time, that it seems like a lot of the younger reactors don't know about, unless YouTube got rid of it. But yeah, it's still here. So guys, I'm gonna give you a little pro tip here from us old people who remember ancient YouTube. But comma allows you to go back by 1 frame, and period lets you go forward by 1 frame while you're paused. So you don't have to keep scrolling back and forth trying to find the frame you're looking for. You know what I mean? So obviously here we have Carol's ship. I guess she decided to just get a ship so that she can have something as almost sort of like a home base. Because obviously, as we were talking about before, she really does not need to have a ship. She can survive in the vacuum of space apparently just fine. And one of her abilities should be the ability to teleport as well. So even if she was having an issue, she should actually be able to get herself out of it pretty quickly. There's Carol looking stern, sort of like I'm gonna go back to that, sort of like a combination hairstyle thing they got going on here. So it's like a combo of her mohawk and the hair we sort of see her with first when we first meet her. It also looks like they've made some subtle changes to her uniform, which is interesting. That's actually one of the weird things that sort of bugs me about movies in general, where they have characters who wear a uniform. You see it in everything from Star Trek to the X-Men franchise under Fox and everything, where it's and of course the Marvel movies where it's characters need a new uniform for every outing, and I don't really get that. Personally, I figure if you design a uniform, especially for something like Star Trek, where it's like an entire freaking fleet of people who have a uniform, why would you constantly redesign it? I mean, people do get redesigned uniforms, but like it's not something usually that you do every year, every few years. Something that happens like every 10, 15, or 20 years, you know? Also, here's Nick Fury. Now, so you guys know that I've missed like all of the Phase 4 movies, so there's definitely going to be things in here that either I don't get or they're going to spoil stuff that I haven't yet seen in the Phase 4 movies. But I do know that, you know, Nick Fury ended up going to space at some point. And I'm assuming this is, what was the one that was in space? Was it S.w.o.r.d? Which, of course, you know, we have S.h.i.e.L.D. So I think S.w.o.r.d was the one that dealt with space-based threats. And it appeared that they were recruiting Monica Rambeau in the post-credit scene, well, one of the post-credit scenes in WandaVision to work for S.w.o.r.d. Because if I remember right, that's basically what she did in the comics anyway. It's how she basically started her career as Photon, Miss Marvel, whatever. And, you know, she and Fury and Carol have, like, basically created like just sort of like a Skype, I guess, for themselves, a little private Skype. Alrighty, let's see here. Oh, and here we have like stuff that's like newspaper clippings and everything specific about Monica, and there's of course a picture of her mother Maria. So I'm assuming that's actually. I was gonna say I'm assuming that this is Monica's quarters. Yeah, looking at the books, I'm guessing it has to be. It's Monica's quarters. For a second there, I was wondering if maybe it was supposed to be Carol's, like a thing that Carol has on her ship, because of the way they cut these scenes together, and it might still be, which would show that even though she hasn't been keeping in touch, she has been keeping track of what's going on with Monica, which is interesting. I wonder how much they're going to do this sort of like classic story of sort of like an absentee parent, because in a lot of ways I think that, you know, Carol kind of was like another parent in Monica's life when she was a kid, like how she saw her anyway. She called her Auntie Carol, obviously, but yeah, I think it was definitely that type of relationship. And of course, there was also sort of subtle hints that maybe there was a relationship between Carol and Maria, like an actual, you know, romantic relationship, or at least the beginning stages of what could have been one. Obviously, you know, nothing has been said definitively like that, and that could just be me reading into it. Whenever people have really good chemistry, it always makes me wonder if maybe there was a little more going on. And I love the fact that, like, Goose, you know, they constantly point out that Goose is not just like a normal cat, that it's a creature of much higher intelligence, even though all the cats in the world probably just got pissed off at me for implying that they are of lower intelligence. Well, that's cool. It's almost like she's got a, what is it, a Yokats table. See how like our table is depressed to the floor? I know that doesn't matter. I know nobody cares about that. It's just something I noticed. And speaking of the fact that Carol can basically just hang out in space indefinitely with no real negative consequence, that's exactly what she's doing right here. And that right there, I'm not sure if that's still Carol's ship at this point. It's kind of hard to tell with the silhouette. I'm going to assume it is, but we know that we get like after the logo drop here, we get, and I love how they had Kamala's scarf come in here to make the S real quick. Yeah, it was probably supposed to represent Kamala's scarf, but obviously the gold of the S is more just the classic Miss Marvel logo back when in the old days. So yeah, this right here is the big mystery. I have no idea who she is. There are some things I'm thinking about, but I can't quite remember exactly what the power sets were, so I don't know if I'm just completely 100% off base here. I don't know if she's supposed to be a Kree. Usually the Kree look blue and everything, but they did in the first Captain Marvel movie show a few Kree who, for whatever reason, didn't look blue. And I don't know if that was supposed to represent the idea that as like an empire, they absorb other species sometimes and basically just label everyone as Kree once they're absorbed, or if like they're going with the idea that Kree aren't necessarily blue. I think there also was something where Kree could change their appearance too, though. So she could still be Kree and just maybe looks a little different. But I have no idea who she is. It's like I said, it's tickling something in my mind, but I can't place it. You know, it's weird. Like I almost kind of keep wanting to think, but it doesn't make sense to me. But I keep wanting to think, what was her name? Oh, the leader of the Shi'ar Empire. But that wouldn't make a lot of sense at all because I see her working with Kree, and if I remember right, the Shi'ar hated the Kree. And she called Carol the Destroyer of Worlds or something like that. And here we see her getting one of these bracelets like Kamala has. So one of the things from the other dimension of the Jinn that allows them to manipulate the Noor, or the light energy. And of course that's an interesting concept too, because I'm granted I'm not a particle physicist or anything, but my understanding of it is that basically light is really just sort of a way to talk about energy, like pretty much like all energy is some form of light, kind of. So so basically they're just saying that these people manipulate energy, like the Marvels and everything. Yeah, so she's with some accusers, and she's got one of the hammers of the accusers, and she somehow knows that she can put it together with the Noor bracelets, which is interesting. So I guess they're trying to imply that the hammer and the bracelet tap into the same source of energy. And this looks like I'm wondering, is this her doing a demonstration to cow some of the accusers? Because the guys all look like they're carrying Kree weaponry. Or is this just like her doing something she told them that she would do, and they're just like shocked by how much energy she's wielding? So maybe they're all allies. Obviously, the accuser to her right seems to be an ally. Yeah, I think they're just really impressed by the power she's wielding, because they had their weapons ready but not aimed at her, so it doesn't seem like they're hostile to her. And there's Carol just like with her energy. The finale scene, or the end credit scene from Ms. Marvel, which was definitely interesting. So it looks like Monica was sent out to investigate some sort of spatial anomaly. It looks like something like a portal. I don't know how things resolve with Quantumania, because I haven't had a chance to watch that yet. But when I see something like this in Marvel, I assume this might have something to do with the multiverse. So I don't know if she should be touching it. Of course, this could also be a tear into the Noor dimension, which still would kind of make it like something related to the multiverse. But it could be more like specific than just, spread out. And her touching that, and the implication being that Carol is also touching something similar at the same time. And presumably that's what activated Kamala's bracelet and caused them all to get entangled. That was pretty funny. I loved Carol's face in this scene when she gets wakes up in this random new place, or finds herself in this random new place, gets up and is just surrounded by a shrine to herself, and is like, what the actual hell is going on right now? So that's interesting. That looks okay. So like another one of the bad guys, I'm guessing, but looks human. So but if it's one of these Kree soldiers, that could be one of them, or it could be something like damage control, because I know they're basically being peppered all over the place right now. And there's Monica with beginnings of her energy projection powers, because obviously she's not just going to be like stuck just being able to see different spectra of light. Yeah, I don't know who these bad guys are. I'm guessing this is something that I missed in Phase 4. But that's definitely a Kree, though, that she's that Monica's fighting. There's Kamala with her light. Can't really tell what's going on in that picture. Stuff blowing up. Monica explaining things. Okay, these look like more Kree soldiers that she's surrounded by. She's using her spectrum powers. Kamala is just the most adorable freaking thing, man. I really dig her character. She's so much fun. And it's good to see her family back. Like, all the family members just, like, sitting there, like, their house is all jacked up. So this clearly takes place, like, after the fight we were just seeing. And I love like how her mom and dad, like, Kamala's mom and dad are just, like, just super unimpressed right now. like we don't care. We want to know who's paying for all the damage to our house. And of course, like, you know, Kamala's just gonna want to impress everybody, so she just does stuff. So she did that while Carol was busy flying around up in the atmosphere and caused this to happen, switch places with her. So I'm curious as to, like, do they all switch places? Well, they must not, because Monica didn't go anywhere. So it's just like, but then how did she get up here so quickly, Monica? Oh, and she's already developed her flight powers, because again, that was like something she didn't have before. Oh, maybe they're going to use Monica to nerf Carol. So, like, instead of having it be Rogue who takes the flight and, you know, super strength and everything from Carol and weakens her, it'll be Monica who does it. So increasing her power and decreasing Carol's at the same time. That'd be actually a pretty smart way to do it. Alrighty. Marvel's like, everybody keeps complaining about our sky beam, so we're gonna do a sky water now. Seriously, I need to know who she is. I might have to just go ahead and look it up. It probably won't be too much of a spoiler, because I'm sure it's a character that I'm aware of. It's just that I can't remember who it is. And that looks like it's taking, like, this battle is happening on a Kree ship, because that's definitely the kind of design philosophy that we saw in Captain Marvel for the Kree vessels. Yeah, okay, so Carol doing what she did best when she was younger, like doing like some dog fighting, like good old fighter pilot stuff. I'm looking forward to a lot of Kamala just like being really just happy to be involved, you know? But, you know, come to think of it, that would be another aspect, though, of character development that would be appropriate for her in this movie. Sort of like what we got with Spider-Man throughout his involvement with the Avengers and everything. That's sort of like being this young, fresh-faced teen who has a lot of sort of like rosy-eyed ideas of what it means to be a hero, and then coming face-to-face with the reality of what it means to be a hero and realizing how much, like, dark and like serious shit goes into it. So I'm guessing, like, you know, it'll basically be almost like a trial by fire for Kamala. So she's kind of like, her costume here echoes the costumes of the Accusers, but it's like also a very different philosophy. I really need to figure out who she is. If she ends up actually being related to the s.w.o.r.d, I would be very surprised. I don't really know what that was. Obviously Statue of Liberty, but so we're going to be doing some more time travel in this. For those of you who know, the Statue of Liberty is made of copper. And copper patinas over time. That's why the Statue of Liberty is currently green. There would have only been basically, I think, about 30 years when the Statue of Liberty would have looked like that. And so that makes me wonder if we're getting more time travel shenanigans in this. It's really hard to tell. Either that or it's a different universe Earth. So these guys are, these are all agents of S.w.o.r.d. Don't know what's happening there. Yay, another Bollywood dance number sequence. Except with aliens this time? I swear I see a bunch of aliens. Oh, maybe this is the universe that the that Aisha and her people came from. Kamala's ancestors. So we're gonna see an alien sort of like echo of the dance scene at the wedding in the Ms. Marvel show. Oh, everybody hugging! Yay! I tell you, man, found family is one of my favorite tropes ever. So looks like they've done some redesigning of the accusers. I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. It looks a little weird, but yeah. So here we go with a Spectrum or Photon or whatever they're going to call her, definitely having more powers now. I think I might be right, guys. I think they're going to use her to nerf Carol instead of having it be Rogue. I wonder if all of these are Flurkins. That would be the most terrifying thing ever. Or I also wonder if Marvel is basically just telling us that all cats are Flurkins. And if for whatever reason they all came to Earth and humans have just been safe from them for, I don't know, maybe they just like us. Maybe we're their pets. Nice little design on Kamala's shirt here, sort of like echoing the concepts of the multiverse and everything. I want to know if this expression she has right now is actually in response to Kamala saying, yay, we're a team or whatever, or to something else, because that expression is priceless. Brie Larson looks like she's having a lot of fun this time around, which is great. Okay, and her flying around blowing shit up. And yeah, so Monica gets to have her own binary moment, which is pretty cool. And I hope we'll get to see some more creative uses of Kamala's abilities, just sort of showing how she's grown as a hero since the show. I still maintain she should be able to use her platforms to fly. Oh, right. Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun, guys. I'm actually really looking forward to this. This is such a great moment for this trailer. Her reaction was so priceless to this. That right there is exactly their most appropriate reaction to seeing that. Well, hey guys, I had a lot of fun with this trailer. I thought it was really cool. It seemed to do justice to each of the characters involved, and really makes me excited to see how they're going to play off against each other. I'm going to try to figure out who the villain is in this piece because it's just bugging me. Let me know what you guys thought of the trailer in the comments. Who are you most looking forward to seeing? Which dynamic are you most looking forward to seeing? And how do you think this is going to affect the Marvel Universe going forward? Especially, with the involvement of a mutant, possibly multiverse stuff going on. And let me know if you guys think I'm right that they're going to shift the responsibility of nerfing Carol's powers over to Monica instead of to Rogue like it originally happened. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining me for this trailer ride. Look forward to, having you guys with me whenever I eventually get to the reaction for the movie. I will not be seeing it in theaters. I basically decided a while ago that even if I wasn't doing reactions, one thing I learned from COVID is that I really enjoy watching movies at home. So I plan to do that as much as humanly possible. But because I do reactions as well, obviously, I want to react to all this stuff. So I'm just going to not go see it in theaters. I'm going to wait till it comes out on Disney Plus or whatever, and I'm going to stream it so that I can react to it, show it to you guys. I hope that you'll join me for that when it happens. Anyway, guys, thanks again. And yeah, I'll see you for whatever's next. Bye-bye. Oh, and have a marvelous day.
Oh my god, we're a team.